conversations back and forth, and we're still really unclear where it exactly came from, right? But no, I don't think anybody should get out as easy as to call themselves a victim by somebody just because they don't know the game. It's just, we're all grown-ups here. It's like accountability and responsibility is the name of the game, and you got to own it.
I would agree with that. Why do you think, like, I've had Jonathan Anton on, he was on a Bravo show called Blowout back in the day.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a straight heterosexual male. We talked about this in length when he was on my show. Like, why is it that, I mean, I understand it. I'm a gay man. I understand it. But why are we in 2023? And why does this stereotype still exist that there's millions of straight male hairdressers throughout the world?
Sure. Here's the thing. I've seen our industry come a very long way. So from when I started back in the mid 90s to now, things have completely changed. And, you really, when you're in the business, you really don't see it as much. I still think there's some old school thinking out there. And of course, there could be labels placed, but, the good thing for me and the thing that I've seen in our industry is it has come a long way, and we don't really deal with it as much today. Why it's still there, even to the smallest degree, I think it's just because you're playing in the beauty industry, and I think stereotypically it's a girl's game.
That makes a lot of sense. When someone is like doubling down, like, when Monica's saying, like, I've heard for years, and even like Heather's chiming in, we've heard for years, and, there's boyfriends and the boyfriends. I mean, this is getting they're getting specific, like, right. You put it out there. It's one thing. And you say, wait a second, this has legs. I didn't really mean this, but everyone seems to be doubling down about specifics of boyfriends, and they're saying they've had good sex and it's been years. Like,
right.
why that doesn't anger you when all of this just keeps going from multiple cast members, and they're saying, like, specifically there are people out there?
Well, I just want to, so from my perspective, it's like Monica is the only one really doubling down. Like Heather, she said, yeah, there's a stereotype, and if you wear nice clothes or a custom suit, you're going to be called that. But and to be quite honest with you, even Meredith hasn't necessarily said anything about, she hasn't gotten into detail. It's really Monica is the one that's gotten into detail. And, so my perspective on this is that she's using this as an opportunity to create storyline for herself. And, I don't think I'm really saying anything here that you guys can't really see today, but she's really quick to, like, get in, mix it up, fight, do and say whatever. Because it's this knee-jerk reaction of hers. There's not a lot of logical thinking that happens when she starts battling it out with people. So she's willing to go as low as she absolutely can to hurt, destroy, or defame anybody on the cast, and that, like, nobody's exempt. So from my perspective, it's Monica is the one that's doubling down. I've only known Monica, I've only known her through this season. Angie had previous minor experiences with her, 2 other experiences with her, but we don't know her prior. And she certainly doesn't run around in the gay community that we participate in Salt Lake City. And so to me, it's just a blatant lie to create story and just try to hurt somebody.
And what, like, and listen, a lot of housewives do it. What, you think it's like her first season and she's saying, I don't want to be a 1-season wonder. I'm not being fired after this year. I'm going to make my mark and do what I have to do. And I'll definitely be back next season.
Without really knowing the true circumstances, I could, that's certainly something that comes to mind for me. I'm just going to go as hard as I can. I'm going to say whatever I have to keep this thing going. So,
a lot of housewives do that.
Yeah.
What did you think? I mean, you guys just had Greek Easter. You came. I mean, Monica wanted to confront Angie. What did you think of? Because it's gotten legs on the internet. What did you think of her mom, LD, kind of trying to say, shh, like quiet down? I mean, she was kind of on your Angie's side and your guy's side.
Yeah. Well, not knowing their true dynamic, I really thought she did the right thing. I mean, you're in somebody else's home with kids and, probably not an appropriate tone to take with all these people around. So, I felt like her mother did the right thing in that circumstance. So, I appreciated it. And I think we left that day thinking, okay, her mother really tried.
Or do you feel bad for Monica at all when she says, my mom never really has my side? I mean, she said that on Watch What Happens. I wish I had a different mom. My mom's
Mhm.
heartless. Or is it, I mean, because as a viewer, you did kind of cringe when a lot of this was happening
Mhm.
in a
Yeah.
lot of ways.
Oh, absolutely. I think it's interesting. I have thought about this quite a bit because it's such an uncomfortable subject. And I think the way it's played out has, has, has gone really messy. And for me, like, thank God, I don't deal with this with my parents or whatever, but I would just never bring them on a national television to try to expose the situation in that kind of way. For me, it's just reckless, it's messy, and just, I mean, where is your I don't know, I just have questions on character as it relates to that. I would never do that to somebody. I would never expose somebody like that on national television. So for me, I question the character of this person.
Well, that's what Monica's mother said herself, that I didn't want to do this show. Like I wanted nothing to do with it. And Monica begged me to be on the show. And I didn't realize she was going to do me dirty. And this doesn't look
Uh-huh.
great for me.
Well, for me, from her taking this rumor, and by the way, like, when Monica told Angie about the rumor, there was nothing, there was no empathy, there was no care taken in the way she did it. Really, it felt like she just wanted to expose it and then get graphic about it to make it that much more squirmy. And I feel like that, coupled with the way she's exposing her mother, is a true character issue. So I think it's just, you can see how low she's willing to go, I think.